I'll just kick this off now. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Crossover Podcast. As you probably know by now, if you're watching a League of Legends related podcast, the LCS has removed the Challenger team requirement. We'll get into MSI later. Obviously, that's a smaller thing. We're not even in the tournament anymore, so what does it really matter at the end of the day? Uh, LCS begins in 2 weeks, so we might as well talk about this. And all teams but FlyQuest, Evil Geniuses, and Team Liquid have apparently gotten rid of their challenger teams. I have not seen anything from 100 Thieves yet. The report is that they're going to drop it. We're still waiting to find out, and I have Twitter up just in case. And if it gets posted while Paul and I are talking or going on a rant, be sure to tag us. But, Paul, what's your thoughts? Our team's killing North America. What's happening?
I'll stop reading this ranked thing. But I think I mean I'm not surprised at all that I was surprised by the initial announcement. I'm not surprised at the flood of teams deciding to cut their loss with NACL. Knackle wasn't the best name ever. I don't think it was really going anywhere, and it kind of just got annihilated. The second that there was any economic reason to do it, and owners had an opportunity to say that it was too much money, they cut it, which isn't shocking. Even top teams are cutting it, which is surprising me the most. Because Cloud9, are they really cutting theirs?
Yep.
Like, is it official?
It is official. It is gone.
Okay. That surprised me the most. Like, I didn't think they would cut it. I don't know.
Why didn't you think they would cut it?
Because they've been winning with it.
Okay, but does winning matter in NACL?
I mean, no, but when I say winning with it, I mean also like they've been like winning LCS with it. You know what I mean? They've used their academy system probably more than anybody, or at least their 10-man roster.
They use Fudge.
Yeah, M&S started on academy.
Yep.
Who else? Sven was at academy for quite a bit.
He was.
Blabber and Svenskeren back in the day were trading out.
To be fair,
and then they got a jungler.
What's stopping them from doing that next year?
I mean, they can still have a 10-man roster, but if you can afford a 10-man roster, I guess all the support staff and flying them out is what would be the money. But if you're gonna pay for 10 men, why wouldn't you just run a challenger team as well?
Why are they? You really think they're gonna stick, or they're gonna put Diplex in at all during summer?
No, they're probably gonna sell them off or something.
Exactly, they're gonna stick with their main five. So the challenger team has no purpose this year, and there's nobody on their challenger team right now at all that is gonna get promoted.
Yeah.
So again, I ask, what purpose are they having when realistically buyouts are next to nothing right now, and the salary that they're probably going to get for them for the LCS is not worth the $500,000 that it cost them to run that team.
It cost them $500,000.
They put out their financials. It cost them $1 million to run their academy team per year. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, makes you think twice all of a sudden, doesn't it?
Kind of, but it also makes me question what they were doing with all this money then.
What they were doing is you get VC money, you have to spend it. You can't just sit on it.
Yeah.
So it goes to overinflating the salaries and everything you have there. That's the problem with VC money. When you get more than you need, everything just... It sucks, but it is what it is. We were smelling snake oil, and now we're getting bit in the ass for it.
Yeah, I mean, they were the one that surprised me the most, only because they have a good challenger system and they work it in a lot, the way they do things. Now, NRG, TSM, Immortals, Like cutting a challenger team, who cares? Like
I don't
that's not
understand
surprising
why
at
people
all.
were pissed at NRG. They were the ones that it's like, okay, they're new to the league and have no obligation or ties to their academy team now. Like they're going to be the first to cut it alongside TSM. I don't know why people were pissed at that. And
Well,
once
they're my guess is they're mad not at that. They're mad at the fact that NRG comes to the league promising to blah 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 whatever, develop the scene, and they instantly cut one thing that is probably the largest part involved of developing the scene.
yeah,
You
I
know what
mean,
I mean?
I let's get this out of the way first before anybody misinterprets this. And if Con or anybody in chat wants to spam this, if anybody ever asks it in the comments, I doubt Paul, and you can confirm this if you want. I doubt either of us wanted this to happen right now. If we had our choice, it would have waited until the beginning of next year so that everybody would have kept their jobs and that nobody would have lost their jobs or had visa issues or anything else that's coming with the fact that they released all of their players and staff in the middle of the year. I think everybody's on page that if we had a
Yeah.
choice, like if we, the fans, had the choice, that would not be the case. The reasons for why they did it now, we'll never fully know. Part of it's financial. Part of it is not believing in the pipeline of NACL for very valid reasons. And like, I just want to nip that in the butt before anybody comes in saying we're being insensitive talking about this or anything else. Like, there's actual problems that need to be addressed, and that doesn't take away from the fact that people lost their jobs. And I'm really sorry for them, and I hope every single one of them lands on their feet, whether that's in the League of Legends space or for the majority, I would guess are probably going to get out of League of Legends in some capacity. Or maybe go to college. Like, whatever they want to do, they do.
And it's not like it's the thing I will say too is if them losing their job at this point, it's kind of just ripping off a band-aid in
Yeah.
some ways. Like this was coming at the end of the year anyways. So a lot of people saying, "Oh, it sucks it happened this way." It sucks in the sense of if they didn't get a severance package. If
Yeah.
these teams aren't being forced to pay them out for a few months to help these guys figure out what to do, that would stink. I think honestly, it's better it happened now. And I know people are gonna say this is bad, but now they at least have a full summer to figure out college.
That's my so applications for colleges are obviously going to be due. Like, I mean, technically they could have played the summer split, but I think now is like a really important time. If some of these kids are going to go to college, you need to start touring. You need to study for your SATs if you didn't take them. You got like there's a whole bunch of shit that you got to start doing, and you have to do it now to prep. And if any of them need advice, I've got my master's. I've been to both graduate and undergraduate. If you want me to review your resumes, anything, by all means, DM me on Twitter. I will help you. Like that, will do what I can to, try and make any sort of impact there so that people can transition as need be. But I agree with you. I do think ripping off the Band-Aid now for those that are going to leave the League of Legends scene is good. Now, these kids are not going to get into college until 2025, to be clear. For those that don't know the application process, they will need to apply starting in late summer, early fall for the following year. So they'll still have to figure out what they're going to do during that gap year. But the timing-wise, this is actually better for them to work on their application and have it ready for August, September time.
Yeah, and they could even try to get into spring semesters, which was one thing I was like, well, that's kind of nice, at least in the sense of for some of them also, it's kind of that this is probably the wake-up call. It's better to have a wake-up call earlier than later.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you need to know that League of Legends is just not going to last and you need to go find a different path, I'd rather you know now than later and play one more split in Academy for nothing. Other than having fun and getting out your competitive drive. But at this point, it's barely a job. Like, they're trying to get rid of your job. And that's just how it is. Sometimes it's better to move on and try to move on quickly, but it does suck. It sucks what happened to everybody, and it's terrible. You don't want to see people just get mass laid off ever in any way. But that's like kind of what League of Legends has been the past few months. It's just been mass layoffs, so I don't know what people want.
And
It's
I will
rough.
say this because I think Delphi's getting a little bit of shit right now for what she said about Cloud9. Uh, she said Cloud9 is the same as any org. They do not give a fuck about their employees beyond what capital they bring into the orgs, and therefore are, I don't know. She went in on something like that. Don't say that these orgs don't care about their people, because by all means, to a certain extent, yeah, they're a company, and employees, to a certain extent, are nothing but a number. At the end of the day, we're in a capitalist world. That is what it is. But I can promise you, Cloud9 cares about more than. They definitely care about their people that they have on board. Just because you
Yeah,
don't agree with their decision to cut the academy roster does not mean that they don't care. It also can mean that they are being smart. Again, it's $1 million a year, $500,000 for the next 5 months to keep that academy team on board. And I quote retweeted Manny, who works for the LCS, and you might have seen him in Mark Z's piece of catching up with Double Lift. He was like the rat that came out of the thing.
mm,
He made a comment saying, crazy to think that having an NACL team for even more than one split is going to bankrupt the Golden State Warriors. Somehow he didn't get my response or didn't understand it, and I want to make this clear for everybody that doesn't understand finance. Just because the Golden State Warriors own Golden Guardians or the same management group owns them does not mean that you can look at the Golden State Warriors or any other group within that
yeah,
conglomerate that they own as a way to bail out finances. Golden Guardians
mhm,
are their own individual entity and silo. And when judging
yeah,
decisions that management is going to make, god damn it, why have my cam froze? When judging decisions that management is going to make, they are not going to consider everything else. It is purely from Golden Guardians. And if Golden Guardians can cut $500,000 in cost right now, management's going to look at them and be like, you pull the trigger or you get the fuck out if they are in a bad
yeah,
financial position. I can't speak much to my job, obviously. But all I'm saying is look at all the shit that the company that I work for owns.
yeah,
Do the math. Like, just stop and think about it for more than 2 seconds. That'd be like saying, I'm trying to, let me think of any other company to give some sort of better representation because I cannot speak to Disney. Um, oh, I literally need any other
I
company.
mean, I had a Disney one, but you're not allowed to say it,
Yeah,
I
I
guess.
can't talk. If you can say it, go ahead. I
Well,
can't
I was
agree or
gonna
disagree.
say the Disney one is. I remember because I'm a diehard Disney fan. Like, I I remember when they were buying up Star Wars and everything. My friends would always just be like, "Well, they buy it with the park money," and I was like, "No, no." I was like, the park money like goes back into parks like pretty heavily the way Disney does development, and they could be using park money to allocate to buy something else, but saying like a massive company like that does their allocation just by going, oh, we want to buy Fox, we're going to use every cent of profit we make from Disney parks on buying Fox, and they don't use any other part of the company, is not really how a massive company functions. Like, that would be the same as the Warriors going, hey, we're going to use like the money from every cent we make in profit from Golden Guardians to fund the Warriors, paying for Steph. Like, that's not how that works. They have to look at what they have in that allocated budget for that section of a massive business and decide. Now, would they pool money? Yes. If there was a moment that the Golden Guardians investment team was like, okay, who their ownership group is like, yeah, we want to pool all our money, they can pool money. The thing is, I hate to say this to people or give them this realization. If the owners of the Warriors go to pool money, they're not doing it the same way Bob Iger does it. They're not going, okay, the parks made this many billions, Disney Plus makes this many billions, like Walt Disney Studios, Animation Studios makes this many billions. The Warriors are going, okay, the Warriors made like 500 mil. Let's go to our balance sheet for the Guardians.
and it's
okay,
negative.
we're not
It's
pulling
all
the money.
fucking, yeah.
Yeah.
And they're not
like,
they're not going to look at that and be like, "Oh, we sold 1,000 extra tickets. Let's use that to fund the Golden Guardians." It's like, no, they're gonna look at the Golden Guardians and be like, figure out how to make some fucking money. You can
Yep.
you can operate in the red for a tiny bit so long as your cash flow is positive, and we will give you a cash injection
Yep.
to fund that. But you have to earn that money back, and that
Yep.
gets paid back. So technically, there's no money leaving hands, or you go fucking bankrupt. And
Yeah.
that's the problem. It's like this decision buys people time. You might not realize it, but $500,000 might buy them enough time in terms of the cash that they're using each month to at least organize a sale for some of the orgs and just get this out of their hands, because we know that teams want to change. It's like, I don't get this. And then Manny responded. He's like, yes, I was being very serious when I said that 600K would bankrupt an NBA organization. It wasn't a joke at all. But that's not... I'm well aware that you're not saying that's going to bankrupt the Golden State Warriors. The point is that it's not touching the Golden State Warriors. And that's what people don't seem to fucking get. And I don't know how many times it has to be said. Like, yes, these parent companies own these teams, but keep it separate. They're not looking, when they're looking at a profit and loss statement, an income statement, or a balance sheet, or statement of cash flows, it is just that entity.
Yep.
Whenever organizations go through cost-cutting measures, they're not like, they're looking at Golden Guardians and saying, okay, you need to save 25%, or we need to see a 25% reduction in spending, as well as we're going to try and increase revenues by 25%. And when they look at reducing costs by 25%, every department's going to give a list of things that they can give up. And I guarantee you the League of Legends program, or like the LCS program, was looking at Academy and being like, we can give this up and be perfectly fine. Because at the end of the day, guess what? There's still going to be an Academy scene. There might be less teams. Sure. But there's still going to be players that these teams can buy it from. And it's not like they're even fucking buying from them anyways, because we're getting all of our amateur talent from Korea. As players continue to get more green cards, and players that were once imports are no longer imports, you can then bring in more imports. Like, there is no... Like, I get there's a lot of people associated with the NACL scene that are very passionate about this, and there's those 4,000 to 5,000 people that 100% watch NACL are insanely passionate and very vocal. But let's be honest, very few of these players were coming up. It didn't do what it's supposed to do. It's ineffective.
Yeah.
And we're finally ripping off the Band-Aid, as much as that sucks, to what is clearly a bullet wound.
And it's even better for them because removing the academy players and the teams removes all those benefits, anything you'd have to do health insurance wise. You got to think all that's gone now. Any relationship that could be negative, that could hurt the brand, is now gone because it goes through other academy teams now. Like, the only thing that stinks for them is they have to do a buyout. But I guarantee you a buyout is way better in the mind of somebody running a company. They would rather buy someone out from a team 100% more of the time than deal with the fact that they could have a bunch of people end up stinking. They're just wasting their money, and even worse, they could tweet something negative against the company. When you don't have to worry about any of those HR problems, any of running those packages, you don't have to worry about a severance package anymore or breaking your contract. All you have to worry about now is, hey, do I want this guy from an academy team?
Yep.
Yeah, okay. Let's buy him out. Like,
Now,
that's it.
Yeah. Now, I agree with Papa Smithy that teams should be obligated to invest in talent development in North America, which I got shit for this on Twitter whenever it was originally announced, but I still commend. I like the idea of TSM and other teams partnering with colleges and helping promote them. Like, imagine if Cloud9 did a deal with UNC, but not just UNC main campus in the Tar Heels, but like UNC Greensboro, UNC Charlotte, like all of the UNC branches. subsidize some of the scholarships for students to go there and play League of
Yeah.
Legends. Like create a scholarship fund with individual colleges that encourages them to get an education, but also feed into the talent development pipeline. If every team picks a network of universities
Yep.
to do that with, then yes, we will start to see the scene grow, and we'll see a college grow at least a little bit. And to be clear, it's still going to shrink. Like the entire league ecosystem we're here. We got to get down to here first, and once we get down to here, then we can start building up. But I agree, we need to put money towards it. But beyond that, I pray to God, all of these people that are commending Steve and FlyQuest and Evil Geniuses right now for caring about North American talent, are praising them for the wrong things. Praise them for taking care of the people that need to be taken care of in terms of their visas, housing, and providing them a few extra months. But make no mistake, when all of these teams drop their rosters at the end of the year, every person that's flipping out now better be flipping out then.
Yeah.
I will give you respect if you do that, because I may not agree with you. And my thoughts on how to grow North America are different, obviously. But at least you're consistent with your outrage, and I can respect that. But if you say something now and don't say something then, you're a fucking hypocrite.
I mean, and the EG people have me just laughing. Like, EG has been getting a lot of love for this, and I'm like, dude, like, they just cut 4 players from their main team, and they're keeping one in essentially contract jail because they refused to cut him and let him go somewhere else, on the idea that they're probably going to get kicked out of the league here soon. I'm assuming at this point, or they're about to get sanctioned.
I'm not commenting on that.
Well, I just mean they're about to get sanctioned to crazy levels if they're gearing up like this. So, if anything, they kept this because this is their small shrivel of not looking like actual evil geniuses.
Yep.
And, like, with FlyQuest and TL, I get it. I think it's cool, but I don't understand how nobody has commented on, and this is where I think people are a little hypocritical, the 2 orgs that we're praising are pure Korean rosters almost.
To be fair, for TL, TL, you do have to give them credit. They did try Yeon and Harry, and are sticking with them through summer. So I won't criticize TL. What I will criticize them for is fucking picking up Pyosik.
Yeah.
Let's be honest, you're better off picking up an NA player. And we all knew this was coming. And now they have Greg.
I don't have anything for that. I don't really.
Like this is my problem with NA development talent. That I just don't get it. And the LCS Players Association came out with all their statistics of like how many people have come through the system, etc. I get people getting second chances, but one of the reasons why our development system is failing is because we don't have enough people filtering in and out. The fact that Greg is getting another chance, and no slight to the guy, by all means, I'm sure, I've never talked to him, but I'm sure he's a great guy, and hopefully he does well to prove me wrong. And I will gladly eat my words if that happens. But why is he getting another chance whenever there's other young talent? If you're saying that we care about domestic talent and that it's out there, why is he getting a chance over other guys?
How is a guy like Copy gonna leave the scene forever without even a shot with some of the mids that we have? I mean, this is going at my team. How are you gonna pick up Ruby and Copy's just walking out of the scene for free at this point? Like, dude never even got a shot. Like, we're paying minimums too. I'm sure he would have taken close to a minimum. Like, I don't understand the way North American works function, because they talk about trying to save money, but they don't even do the basics of saving money. Like, EU teams rotate through talent all the time.
Yep.
Some of the most winningest regions, LPL and LCK, rotate everybody outside of like Faker and Chovy. Like, there's an ADC on Genji right now who's 17. Pays us 17, and people are like, "Oh, well, we're just worried they'll choke on the big stage." It's like, well, how do you know?
Yep.
You can't know. You've never put them there. Like, Tenacity might be one of the biggest ones too. Of just like,
Yeah. Tenacity
not
got
just you
fucked.
guys. It's not just you guys. My thing with Tenacity's even more is how has nobody like tried to convince him not to do content? Like, what is that buyout? Is that buyout that crazy?
I don't know. That's the thing. I have no clue. And from I
It's insane.
I don't know. Like I wish I knew. I don't wish I know because I don't want people in my DMs giving me information. But
Yeah.
I wish that was public. I wish Tenacity could have commented and been like, "Yeah, my buyout is high," or
Mhm.
just some sort of acknowledgement. Uh,
Have they said what
but
they're doing with Sniper too?
no, that's why I'm waiting to see what the 100 Thieves announcement is, because
Yeah.
assuming we're getting rid of our roster, it, here's my thing with that. If you're 100 Thieves, as much shit as people are going to give them for dropping this team, is there anybody other than Sniper that you actually think is coming up to the main roster?
No.
Okay, so cut everybody, send Sniper over to Korea as a content creator and let him play in Korean solo queue for 3 or 4 months and pay for it, and then have him come back with the
Yeah.
team when it's time. Do the
He's
Christian
cool with that.
Pulisic.
Yeah.
Yeah, do the Christian Pulisic method.
Yeah.
Keep him on 100 Thieves as a content creator. Maybe allow him to play as if he's a content creator at 16, yeah, he's a content creator. He's not on the LCS team. He's a content creator for the org. You're basically sending him over there to do an elo challenge. There's nothing against that
Yeah.
whatsoever. He's just not allowed to be on the LCS team.
Yeah, because I mean, there are plenty of kids that do content creation like that, anyways,
Exactly.
in Fortnite and other games. Like,
And as long now they'd probably have to double check with Riot and be like, hey, look, we're gonna send him over. He's gonna stream. He's gonna do all these things to help promote the 100 Thieves brand and actually be like a full-time content creator until he comes of age to then shift in. But we're not playing
yeah.
him on the team. We're not putting him in for scrims or anything like that, despite him potentially being able to. And even then, the LCS teams scrim the academy teams, so I
Yeah.
don't think there's anything against that. But like that's what I'm waiting to see. And that's why I really want this announcement to come out already, because I want to find out what they're doing with Sniper. If they let him go to the market, we fucked up. Then we really fucked up. And then I'm going to be
Yeah.
pissed at our management because we really picked up someday and that's our fucking solution long term. Really? No. I don't like that. But
Because, yeah.
I don't think anybody there is against, like, put it this way, if they get rid of Sniper
Mhm.
and don't get like some insane buyout for it, which they're not in this economy, then that's to me that, yeah, okay, 100 Thieves might be eventually looking to move on at some point.
Yeah, and it's tough because, I mean, all these announcements and all this is coming at a bad time too. Like, really bad time. When you're looking at Western League of Legends as a whole right now,
Yep.
I mean, we just got absolutely cooked on the MSI stage. I don't even think we need to talk about the matches.
No, we
Everyone's
don't.
seen it with their own eyes because it's all been curb stomped so far. I mean, unless you watch the LCK series for the second time, like I did, we're possibly going to get it a third. There's no, I don't think there's even a reason to watch, like, go back and watch the highlights if you're an
No,
NA fan. I
none.
think it'll just make you sad. Like,
The only entertaining matchup was Cloud9 versus Golden Guardians, and I'm sorry, but I don't care to see that again on the international stage. It did nothing for me.
I mean, at this point, the only thing saving NA teams from going 0-6 is that we get to play each other.
I think we could have beaten Europe.
We might have.
I
We
still
might have.
think like we're. That's the problem, and that's the shitty thing about how the format worked out, was that we never got
Format
to.
suck
Yeah, you need
so
you.
far.
Yeah, and the other thing I will say, I think you make the upper bracket until winners finals, best of 3.
Fair. Maybe a little quicker.
I don't need to see as many 3-0 stomps as we have. And with
Yeah.
MSI being the way it is, and you know that there's going to be a discrepancy between the tier 1 orgs or the tier 1 regions in the LCK and the LPL and the tier 2 regions in the LCS and LEC, we don't need to see best of fives of that. I'm
Mhm.
sorry, we don't. It's not entertaining. It's not fun to watch. It's just it's boring.
I don't even think I honestly like. I don't know if I'd go to these series if they were in my backyard.
I think you would. I think going
Like
like I think you would. You would still
I
go to
think
see all
no,
the
I'm saying
players.
by third weekend, I would probably just be like, I get it. Like I'm gonna take a break here because there's
Oh
so much
yeah.
League of Legends happening. I'd be like, I'll take a break. Like I'll be back when the real teams start playing each other again. I'll let you guys sift through the trash and we'll get back to this. But right now it's just like what was it? Week 1 was really bad.
Oh yeah.
Week 2 was 4 series. Well, I'm going by like
Yeah.
actual main
Yeah,
stage.
no, I get it.
So week 1 was all curb stomps. What? Round 2 was 4 series? Yeah, it was 4 series I've already seen before. So I've watched every single one of those.
3 of those being 3-0s. Or
Yeah.
well, not 3-0s, but stomps.
Yeah. Basic.
Cloud9 beat Golden Guardians pretty handedly. Uh, JDG smashed BLG despite some of those games being close,
They were
and,
fun games still.
Mad Lions got stomped.
Yeah, the only reason the LPL games are fun is because, like, I'll look at the scoreboard and be like, oh my goodness, we're 20 minutes in with 39 kills. Like, what's going on? And they just kill each other all the time. Like, it, I, even though I've been watching a ton of LCK lately, I still get shocked by how slow it is.
Yeah.
Like, the end of a game when it's like 7-5, I'm always shook by it. I never expect it. I don't know what it is.
No,
I'm like,
I can't get used to it. It's so annoying.
it's very boring. But like it's good League of Legends. They play the game almost perfect, but it's very boring. And like I don't know. G2 Mad Lions we didn't need to see.
No.
I
I
granted it was different result. That's
yeah.
good. Different result. It was probably the most important one of them all because it was a curb stomp different result, so it was kind of different.
Yeah.
But the T1 like Gen G one was really good.
Yeah, that's it. Like that so far has been the series of the tournament.
But one team fight, we were one team fight away from that being
Yeah, just
another
over.
3-0.
Yeah, over.
Yeah. And if that's a 3-0,
Oh, if
I
that's
think
3-0,
this
we're in existential
format is
crisis.
just getting destroyed right now.
Yeah. And it's
Like,
not the problem is it's not like the alternative was any better. The best of one sucked.
true.
That was horrible to watch.
I mean, you're not wrong.
It's like it's weird to say, but this is actually making me more and more excited for Worlds. That sounds counterintuitive, but like the Swiss system is going to be really, really fun to watch, in my opinion. Because assuming the seeding is right, and I pray to freaking God that Riot understands that and actually gives us good seeding, what will happen is after the first round, all of the LPL teams and all the LCK teams will win, and then it'll just be. Let me pull this up. Let me pull up the graphic because they've showed it.
I mean, I genuinely do think a fourth seed LPL or LCK team is beatable.
I do too. Yeah. Especially from
Granted,
like
I
our
know last year was. What was DRX? Were they a third?
fourth.
They were a fourth? I thought so. I know they like kind of broke that idea, but they also beat everybody. They were playing out of their mind for a full tourney.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just don't. This one, I think Worlds will be fun. It's just so far the MSI one has been tougher. The games are still going to be good the longer we go. I mean, it's going to be fine. I'm going to let you get this point out, and then I'm going to ask you a question about that scheduling.
I'm just
that
showing this on
LCS.
showing
Oh,
this
okay.
on stream real quick. So looking at the bracket, the assuming everything is seeded perfectly, everybody on the left side will be LPL and LCK. Everybody on the right side will be EU, NA, and whatever other minor region comes out. Assuming all the tier 1 LCK LPL teams win, they're up here, we're down below. And immediately this becomes incredibly entertaining. Because
Yep.
we're seeing the minor regions in EU and NA face off against each other in close matchups, and we're seeing LPL, LCK early on. And then half
Yep.
of them will lose, and we'll play the better teams from like EU, NA, and then like this whole section here is going to be great because the top 4 teams, like say the 3 LPL team or 3 LCK teams and 1 LPL team, will get out of the way automatically.
Yeah.
And it's just going to be like, I cannot wait for this. Now, granted, at the end of the day, the LPL and LCK are probably going to be the only two regions that get out. All 8 teams will be from there. But we'll have a lot of entertaining games along the way between the minor regions that actually have impact. And not just these, an old group stage. If, NA is playing EU in the group stage, but we're both 0-6 or 0-4 going into it. It's like, okay, well, what does this game matter? It doesn't. But like now there's bragging rights. Now we can knock them out. And like being the ones, even if we don't qualify out of group stage, I can like being able to say that we beat Europe in a best of 3 to knock them out is going to be great. It will be a lot of best of 1s to start. Because it has to be. And that's the same thing that we're saying for like the MSI format right now. If you took the upper bracket and made it best of 3s, it would help speed along to the games that really matter. And that's why you're using best of 1s in the first 2 stages are both best of 1s, but then the second you get to promotion and elimination games, it's all best of 3. And that's great.
Which for the best, because we need it. We need something that at least keeps it more fun than it has been for a while. Like, I don't know. Worlds has been sick. It's always sick because it's Worlds.
Yeah.
But this MSI format change, I don't think hit. I think they have some tweaking to do. At least go back to the lab, and they'll figure it out. All they got to do is make it so regions can't play each other this quick.
Yeah.
And it'll be a good format. But if they mess this up with Worlds and they don't have regions playing other regions, I genuinely don't know what they do there. I don't know what their job is at that point.
They just have to make sure that seeding in the initial best of 1 stage, whenever everybody's 0-0, you have to make sure that LPL and LCK do not play each other. That cannot happen under any circumstance. The LCK 4 seed just won Worlds. There's no excuse right now to not give them the tier or like pool A of how you're going to draw this. It should be the 4 of them in pool A or the 8 of them in pool A and literally everybody else in pool B. That's exactly how it should work.
Yeah. No, I see what you mean. I think it would work for sure. And we honestly need, I don't know what we need, but we need sub for
NA.
Yeah, NA and EU to maybe play each other with that.
Well,
what is that Brazil one now?
What do you mean?
Well, didn't they announce like next year we're doing some smaller tourney?
Oh no, that's within Academy, but we're not gonna have any Academy teams.
Oh.
Yeah, that's North America, like tier 2 system. That's not, and even that's not next year. It might be years after that. So no, we like
never mind.
The one saving grace is we do have that international play-in between North America and Europe at Worlds.
I have no clue then what we do, because I will say I think these tournaments are doing more harm than good at this point.
You're on the Con team now. I see how it is. Con's been on that way for a while. He doesn't like international events because he thinks that they take away from North America. To which my response would be, I get that, but I'm not willing to get rid of the international events. I think they're they're what we build towards, and I really do like them as as they are right now, or not as they are right now. I really like having MSI and Worlds, and if we could add a third tournament in that is like a Rift Rivals that actually means something. Like maybe that Rift Rivals gives you an extra team to MSI or something like
Yeah.
that. Like then you just have to make sure it means something. Uh, then great, but I'm not willing to give up international events despite how shit this all feels.
Well, I'm not either. It's just I'm worried with going into 3 of them. Like next year that they're talking about doing 3 tourneys.
I think that, well, no, I'm willing to bet Riot's looking at this right now because, again, they're not dumb. They're looking at all the same shit that we are, and they have people inside that are looking
Used
at it.
to.
And I mean, I've talked to some of them. I don't think they're dumb. I really don't. I think like they are having the same conversations that we're having now. Obviously, we don't hear about it.
Mm-hmm.
I have faith that they'll make a smart decision when it comes to that. But I mean, I get like it's just tough because we're never going to be able to, bluntly saying it, we're never going to be able to win, and that's a very difficult pill to swallow.
No, we're not gonna be able to win unless we just start cycling through people like madmen till we somehow and we get lucky enough to build a goat squad. Like at this point, because I have thought about the fact though that like G2, while seeming like a merciless team at heart, right? Because they would just cut people like mad, it really was the only way to do it. Like they just kept cutting people until they had a team that could win it all.
And even then, Hans Lama's. Oh, you mean 2019? They've been cycling through more talent recently, but yeah.
Well, yeah, even now they're cycling through a lot, but I'm saying that's the only way you could do it. Like at this point, if Cloud9 was a European team, or like what NA was back in the day when we were just trying to win all the time and we wanted to win like international tourneys, they would be probably cutting Fudge by the end of the year if he doesn't
Oh
clutch
my
up at
god.
Worlds.
Oh my god, yeah. Because his performance
If
at
we
this
were an
tournament
EU
was
team.
just abysmal.
Yeah, which sucks because Fudge is an incredible player here. Like he's insane here, and he'd probably make them regret it. One of those like what is it, double if type situations going
Double
to
it to
TL.
TL.
Like he would probably make them regret it. But the thing is, like you watch these international tourneys, and it's just like, nah, man, like
That ain't it.
he's just not gonna get us there.
No.
It's just
And
how it is.
like, how much you want to bet Hans Sama is not on G2 after this year?
Oh, he won't be.
I'll bet.
Even though I don't think he's the problem, and I don't think Broken Blade will be.
What? I think
They'll cut
stays.
Broken Blade too.
No, I think BB stays.
I don't know. He does good things at times, but he also like builds a lot of disadvantages.
Not denying that, but I think he had a really good Worlds tournament. I think he
Thing is,
built
Hans was saving a lot of their games in the team fights. That's why I'm struggling.
Hans's
He
positioning
had really
was
bad
horrible.
plays. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. He had really bad plays, but maybe a better ADC there does win him it. But I feel like his laning was nutty
Hans' laning?
at times. Hans wasn't like completely killing him. He was one of the only ones getting gold some games on the Jinx.
For like 10 minutes. I don't care how much gold you get in 10 minutes if you're just throwing it away at the 11th.
Well, I'll give you this. You put Crowny on that team, yeah, they get infinitely better, but
yeah.
What do you
like
they probably actually win that series if they have Crowny.
The only 2 people that I'm looking at that G2 roster and being the only 2 people that I'm looking at that G2 roster and saying they're 100% safe, Mickey X and Yike. Yike is already like, okay, this kid's good. He's real good.
My only problem with Yike was like late game, a couple of the games he got caught out.
Yeah, but he's young. That's fine.
And it hurt him really bad. He is young.
Is he? Yeah, this is his first year, his first split.
Yeah, but I thought he's pretty old though.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know his actual age. I'm saying like young in terms of like time on stage. Like he is very much like,
fair enough,
potentially the face of European League of Legends in the jungle as time goes on.
Could be.
and
Yeah, and I
Caps.
can see what you mean about Broken Blade because he did step up enough to be like to save his job
Yeah.
this tourney.
Now he has to perform
Like
in summer.
he does.
In both summer and at Worlds, he needs to like 100% get better. Yikes 22. Look, we got to start getting over this age thing. If we're gonna start embracing college,
Yeah, he said
for
young. Khan said so. I'd say young.
yeah, if we're
Yeah.
gonna start embracing this whole collegiate thing, we got to get over the age thing because we're gonna have kids like coming into the LCS that are brand new rookies at like 20. They're gonna do their Kentucky year-long service in college and then dip out and come to LCS.
Well, I also am not convinced that old people can't play the game because Faker and Doublelift still kind of destroy in their regions.
How old is Chovy too?
I don't know. Granted, I know I just compared Faker and Doublelift, so or it sounded like I was. I was not.
Yeah, but no,
I get it. Faker's way better.
in their respective regions though.
Yeah.
Chovy's 22. Damn. Dude,
Dang.
Chovy's Ari is disgusting.
Chovy's pretty good at League of Legends at times.
That was that was so gross to watch. So gross.
Bro, him and like I don't know, man. The way these mid laners play from other regions is just like whatever, bro. Like even Faker like I want to say Faker had some problems like at the end of spring.
Yeah.
He was kind of playing a little weird. But he seems like he just shook that off. That series was a one-off.
Yep.
Which is Faker, so I'm like, you're not gonna color me surprised that he shook off a bad series and came back really good.
Yep.
But it's just like it's crazy what these people do, man. It makes no sense.
Oh man.
But I don't know what LCS teams do now. Cause we're at the point where I'm trying to think, if you're an LCS team, do you start rotating?
What do you mean? Just rotating through players?
Like, let's say not. What's a team that could rotate and it would make sense? Like,
No.
NRG. If you're NRG, do you just start picking up like guys and being like, hey, you're young, but we think you're good. We want to try you out.
Yeah, and just start like putting them in, and if they don't work,
Yeah.
flick them out and keep like.
Yeah. Keep doing it every split if you have to. You'll find one.
I can see NRG trying that starting next year, like just come in
Yeah.
and just be like, look, we're gonna start cycling through, and when we find that one canary in the coal mine, we'll really build around him, and then do it again with another role. But like,
Yep.
that's how G2 built their dynasty, as you said. And it's
because we'll never have a BDS in NA. Because we don't have a team willing to do that.
I don't look. If I'm NRG, I don't give a fuck about what fans I'm pissing off in this process. NRG's already no, because people
want to make players not
because LCS fans are so fucking fickle when it comes to like players rotating and everything else. Because again, you're forgetting people are fans of players in this region, not teams. There's a reason why G2 fans don't care because G2 fans want to win, and unfortunately, NRG as of right now has no fans. So.
Well, I get what Jerome is saying. Like, why would you think NRG would do that when they signed Ignar? Good point. That's why I think it'd have to be next year.
Yeah.
And they also are probably going to have to get rid of, I hate to say that, but some of the management there hasn't exactly been building crazy teams.
To be fair, they've also been hamstringed with the budget.
They've been hamstringed with budget. I get that. But I'm saying if you're going that route, you either talk to the management and be like, hey, show us your scouting ability. And you do have to find a guy who can scout really well.
Yeah.
Or you have to build a scouting department.
Yeah.
So either A, you find new management who likes that style, or B, you keep management and you give them a chance with good scouting.
Yeah.
That's what you got to do. Like, because you did make a good point. They were on a budget, and like you have to find a way to find that balance. Because granted, I understand NA fans might hate that, but you know what NA fans like more than anything? Winning. Winning. How quick did NA fans think EG was a great place, and how quick did they hate them when they started losing?
How quickly did they start latching on the Golden Guardians like they had some sort of good tournament just
True.
because we took a single game off of BLG and looked decent against JDG for like 15 minutes in a game? And
Yeah.
now all of a sudden, those same NA fans are now pissed off at Golden Guardians for dropping their academy team. So technically, Golden Guardians has lost all goodwill. It's almost as if LCS fans are just some of the most fickle fans in the world.
They're very hard to please.
Or at least
That
the
is for
ones
sure.
at least the ones on social media that are just not diehard fans of teams.
Yeah.
To which I would say to them, you know, you're going to have to eventually join your worst enemy here soon.
Yep.
Because at your rate, you keep saying that you care about the players and all of this shit. Well, guess what? Guess who owns the rights to the league? The teams.
Yeah.
The teams aren't going anywhere. So, like, you can hate the decisions that they make. You can hate all this shit. Sure. Guess what? Riot forced them to pay $10 million to have an ownership stake in this. They have an ownership stake in this now. So, you don't have a choice.
Yeah, and as we've seen, Riot doesn't even really like they don't seem to kick you out regardless of what you do. So far. So my team being example A, you can go pretty far and still have ownership stake in this league. So like I don't know what you do, but
I'll tell you
it's
what.
like
I'm just gonna,
what?
no, go ahead. I'm gonna go on a quick tangent after this.
No, do the tangent. I want to hear it.
I've said this on Twitter, and I just want to reiterate this here. We might be fans of teams, and I'll tell you now, even the teams will be happy if players do this because, quite frankly, it'll lower some of the player salaries that are a little bit more egregious than the rest, and put in a salary cap, which is great for the league. Players need to fucking unionize now.
Oh yeah.
Now, like the time for this was 5 years ago, but you all were so damn greedy with the money that you got. Academy players getting well over six-figure salaries, LCS pros getting almost $1 million, and you guys didn't have the foresight to think, oh, this might come back to bite us in the ass one day when this bubble bursts, because realistically, we're not driving that kind of value, and they all know that. So why not put some of that money towards the union and actually funding protections for yourself? But no, it didn't happen. And I'm like, seeing the LCS Players Association, I get to a certain extent they're doing their job and trying to leverage for North American talent development, sure. But again, you have no fucking power. And all the words that keep coming out from them, I just keep thinking, like, you keep talking, you keep saying all this shit. I have not seen one single LCS player over the last week speak up in favor of unionizing. Despite all the shit that's going on. None of them.
Yep.
Where are you at? You were the only ones right now with power to be able to do anything. You can unionize. You can force a collective bargaining agreement. You can do all of these things to guarantee that this exact situation that everybody's complaining about does not happen. You could guarantee that say these teams pull out and they don't have a challenger requirement. You could guarantee that that money has to still go into NA infrastructure and talent development, whether that's colleges or anywhere else. Just fucking do it. Like, it's not hard. Forming a union's not an easy thing. I'm not saying that it's not, but you have every bit of money to do it. But you're being selfish and not. So don't come out here and speak out against the NACL decisions, against the teams, against the league, against Riot. You can do something about it.
Yep.
You can take the action right now. The LCS Players Association even said that the players could call for a vote right now to formally set in motion the procedure for them to become a formal union and begin this process. Where are we at? Based on what I'm seeing from the LCS Players Association tweets of them just constantly condemning teams, it doesn't look like it's happening.
No. And that is like, unionizing might be the only way that they can even help something like that anymore. Because without a CBA, there's really nothing they can do to stop teams just cutting players willy-nilly.
Nope.
Or holding them in contract jail at this point. Like, because, I mean, we're a very young area, and like, the even younger than professional sports, and we don't really have any, like, agents. Like, there aren't big agents in the league. Some players get agents, but not a ton coming in for the first time. So nobody's gonna say, hey, if you're a young player, you need to put in like a stipulation that you can break your contract if you don't play this many games or something, like percent of games. And nobody's doing that. They're not telling these kids what can happen to them when they sign a 3-year deal with somebody. So they all get locked in these positions. Like, we have 2 of our best talents right now are about to waste a split in JoJo and Tenacity.
Yeah.
And that could be solved if there was something to help them there. But neither of us, I'm not convinced they're going to even try to get a CBA anytime soon.
And when that's the case, it's like, it puts me in a weird position because obviously people know that I'm more on the org side than I am the player side. And I've been very vocal about that. And obviously the decisions over the last few weeks have not like done the best job of helping me in that regard. But if I'm an LCS team owner or a manager and anything like that, I'm pushing my players like, fucking do it. You might think you're going to hurt me. Sure. But you help everybody in the long run. You actually give somebody with a little bit of power to fight back against all this shit. Like, just do something. Stop talking. Stop going on, don't stop going on Twitter. You need to be vocal on Twitter because you need to leverage social media to get stuff like this through. But just freaking unionize.
Yep.
I swear to God, if I keep seeing this stuff, I'm going to lose my mind.
Because it's all preventable. If they would unionize. It is preventable things. But when the Players Association Twitter, which, can they even do anything?
No. They have no power whatsoever. They can make suggestions. That I was laughing because they're saying, oh, Riot lied to us. Riot blindsided us. They don't owe you anything. Like, is that right that Riot can just unilaterally make these decisions? No. There should be some sort of deal in place. But how are you shocked that this eventually happened? Really?
Yeah.
Really? Have you not seen the legal system in America, the corporate world of America at all? And you really were blindsided by this just because they talked to you and entertained your conversation for years. You knew the power dynamic. And now you're just like, by all means, I know they're playing this out to the public eye and they're trying to get the public on their side. But they can't, it doesn't matter. You can get the public on your side all you want. You could have every single LCS fan out here saying, yeah, we're with you. And then the players are just going to do nothing, and it's going to mean fuck all.
Yep. And who is it? You said earlier it was Delfino or something like that?
Yeah, it was Delphi.
Yeah, they're right. I mean, by all accounts, but they should have just put all these teams. You think any of these owners are like truly caring? Right now, I get what FlyQuest and TL are trying to do is buy time, say they have a commitment, and my guess is they probably still have VC money to spend or something, and they have to keep up a certain amount of spending or whatever their ratio.
They're willing to piss away $500,000 for the sake of good grace.
But do you really think at the end of the day, 2 teams that just fully bought basically older players or went foreign, or went import essentially, are sitting here going, man, without this academy system that we don't really tap into, that often, we'd be in a lot of trouble. Like, maybe you could make that argument for TL with their current two, but the way they paired those two makes absolutely no sense.
No.
Like, the way they tried to implement this system was the weirdest way to implement two rookies into a lineup I've seen. Like, they basically took two rookies and said, hey, here's a guy we know can't play with anybody except people who will just team fight at a disadvantage the whole game. And here's a jungler who we know really isn't that good, but he won Worlds, so we got him. And then they told him, you're gonna play a ton of games at the salary minimum. And our whole idea is gonna be that we grind games. Like, that's crazy that they think these guys care. They basically took these two and said, here's your one shot at LCS. You're gonna play as much as we say. Like, that is what it is. And they're not sitting there going, man, we got to really take care of these guys. Like, we got to sit here and really make sure they still have a place. And let's not even pretend like the only other team, which is EG, that Captain Academy team, cares about their players. Like, we can sit here and pretend like they do, but you could be having a literal breakdown, and they're probably just going to be like, well, we have a chance at titles, so if you could just put that on the back burner, that would help the team a lot right now. And that's what they'll tell you. So it's like, why act like they do? Why get shocked? And why not be prepared and make a little bargaining agreement? It wouldn't hurt. It wouldn't hurt. All you're gonna do is make owners have to actually live up to something that's a title.
Look,
Like, it's not gonna kill people. It's not gonna run us into the ground. But granted, I understand it's probably not gonna happen for a long time.
well, we have 3 minutes to wrap this up because when Emily gets home, this will be the first time I've seen her in 3 days, and I have to go.
Yeah.
Thank you for the follow, Pervolar. I'll close it with. Oh man, I had a train of thought. Where was I going with this? Oh, damn it! What was I gonna say? I have no clue what I was gonna say.
And he's gonna win Worlds?
No.
Oh.
No. Oh, I remember. The amount of times that I've been told that we can't do shit because something is currently bad, whether that's spending's too high so we can't go on road shows, college esports isn't ultimately the way to go because as of right now it's fairly corrupt and there's a lot of issues going on with it. Sure. We are entering the next era of the LCS. Like, for the franchising era is officially like done in my mind now. Like, we're entering the next phase of whatever it's going to be. And just because something didn't work in the past or hasn't worked before, just because you might think it might not, or you think it might not work, doesn't mean we shouldn't try. I fully am bought into the fact that I think college is the future for esports in America. I really do believe that because colleges can absorb some of the cost as a value add for students. And I get there's coaching infrastructure problems and everything else, but you know what? Hey, if it gets kids going to school to possibly get an education, if they're not good enough to, get to the LCS level, then hey, they get a college degree in something and can have a job. While also, say you put in a year and then you go to the LCS. Fine.
Yep.
That's how I think you develop this scene long term. And I don't care if it hasn't worked out before. It's worth a shot. It's worth trying because if I keep hearing that all new ideas aren't going to work just because they're not in line with what people expected the LCS to be or what it has been, sorry. The league's evolving. The league is changing rapidly to try and become more sustainable. And it's going to take some more innovative solutions and things that might not have worked out before, but now that we have to do them out of necessity, they might work. So get ready because a lot more is going to change over the next few years as esports evolves. And we might not make it out on the other side for all we know. But you know what? You got to try something. You got to reduce costs, and you have to try and increase your revenues. If we can't do that, we're not going to last very long.
And get ready for the Moose Hater era.
Yeah, I can't wait.
That's all I'm gonna say.
I can't wait. I hope somebody picks him up next year and just puts him in the LCS. That would be great.
The fact that TSM hasn't blown honestly does surprise me. I thought we would have just sent it for the summer.
Any final words that you got? Volar, just let you know, 100 Thieves are not keeping their NACL team. The announcement hasn't come yet, but that's the report. The VOD of this will be up tomorrow. You could double check all of our thoughts on it. But any final thoughts, Paul, before I end the stream?
Just hopefully, I mean, we're about to get, what? We're 3 weeks away from Summer Split?
No, we're 2.
2 weeks away from Summer Split. So,
Yeah.
Good news, NA fans. LCS heard our cries that we get knocked out too early, and they started Summer Split earlier. So, we do get League of Legends right away. So don't be worried, guys. We get League of Legends right off the bat.
And my whole narrative is, guess what? The Summer Split, building up to New York City, baby, because we're going to be right next door in Jersey.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Your boy's going to be there. I'm going to be hyping this shit up like no tomorrow. And guess what? It's going to be even greater when 100 Thieves is there. In the words of Courage, and my new favorite video that I have saved, favorited, and will use at all times, there are 3 guarantees in life: death, taxes, and quid.
You believe that though?
Yes, I do, actually.
Oh my goodness, you do not. I mean, hey, the last Gen G Academy player was Pays, so
Exactly. So
maybe
don't...
you guys are onto something.
Exactly. We are. Thank you very much.
And low key, I've been watching Double Lift's Korea streams.
It's good.
He's nice with it, bro.
Exactly. We're fine.
He
We're
knows how to
fucking
work
winning the
a
split,
mouse.
baby. And Busio's looking good too. Busio's climbing
can't-
faster than anybody right now.
Also, I can't get to Jersey Con. There's higher powers at B than that.
Uncle Sam's kind of cutting him.
Yeah.
But Emily said she's getting a quick cup of coffee with Jason. Okay, so she's we actually do have a tiny bit of time. Let me check. Is there any subtopics? There's not. Con, what do you want us to talk about? We'll give you 2 minutes. You don't want to go to Jersey? Fine. You don't have to. Come stay in Manhattan. Pay out the ass for an overpriced hotel room, but you know what? You won't be in Jersey. That's the flip side of that. See what I did there? With your name being...
Yeah. I'm not predicting when League will die in it. It won't. League's too big. I've decided it.
The game's never dying. Like,
I'm also close to plat, so please don't kill this game.
It's not. They're not going to kill it. League is fine.
I need somebody to care.
Arcane Season 2 has yet. Like, there's so many things beyond the fucking game. It's besides the esport that are doing well.
You see this?
Well,
would you rather have MSI or a mid-season where you had 3 different tournaments that put regions into a tournament that reflects their tier? That's hard.
It'd be
both
Rift
of those
Rivals.
Sound fun. I would say you do. You could have both because of the fact of next year. That's probably what they should do for the first one of the year. It should be that tournament that Con put on the bottom, and then the top one could still be MSI, but it's MSI with the caveat that other regions actually have to play each other.
Yeah.
The fact that we haven't played, haven't. My bad. I forgot we're dead. With the fact we didn't play EU once, this whole tourney just stinks.
Yeah.
Oh, if you had to choose one, what would it be?
MSI.
It would be MSI.
Yeah, I'm not giving up.
I'd pick MSI, but with the way we said.
Yeah, I'm not changing that. Like that, I don't care what people say. I like international tournaments. They are more fun to me even if we do get knocked out, we're supposed to. Like, we're not supposed to win this. That's not where we're at. I'm gonna enjoy League of Legends for the next 4 days without having to
Yeah.
worry about anything, and I can't wait for that.
Well, the only reason I like that I like MSI more is because I'm a big like college basketball fan. So without the MSI type tournament, you'll never have that story of like G2 in 2019, or
Yep.
like this year with Farley Dick in Sun doing that's a college name. That's
Yeah, I
not
know.
me.
I know.
And with them beating Purdue, like you just don't get that. You don't get exciting things like that.
Exactly. And
So
even if it only happens once every like 3 or 4 years,
yeah.
then it is what it is. I can promise you, North America and Europe at some point will take a series off of China or Korea.
Now, if we get 3 years down the road and we're getting curb stopped this hard every single one, I may start to look at cons
Yeah.
series format with a bit different lens because
Agreed.
I'll be that yes honey meme where he just goes, I can't do this anymore.
Yep.
Or I'll decide I still want MSI and I'll be the other meme where the guy's like bleeding out of his eyes and he goes, give me harder battles to God.
Like I'm with you there. It's gonna take a lot more than just like some bad tournaments for me to really be pessimistic on it.
Yeah.
And ultimately, I don't know. MSI is gonna be fun to watch the next 4 days, and then we're back to LCS, baby.
Yeah.
I'm legitimately excited for the split. I cannot.
Yeah,
wait.
we're winning it. I've decided it.
Shut the fuck up. You have Ruby as your mid laner.
Yeah, he's gonna play better here.
Hey, Con, you realize that's the point. I know we haven't won it since 2020, and yet I'm still over here perfectly fine. Like that's my entire point. Is that I understand where we're at, and I know that.
I just think Americans can't take it
Oh no, we can't.
anymore. We used to be able to. But it's too hard now. People forget like you don't win a tournament in most sports like for a long time. Some teams have never won a Super Bowl.
I'm a Vikings fan.
Yeah.
We've never won in my entire life, and y'all are sitting here bitching about 3 years. What?
I mean, I'm a Colts fan. Like,
You had your time.
you know how
Shut
hard
up.
my life has been? I've only
Shut
had
up.
Peyton
Shut up.
Manning
Shut
and
up.
Andrew
Shut up.
Luck.
No, you shut up. You shut up. I don't want to hear it. Good Peyton Manning. You even had a good time with Carson Wentz, thinking that you could actually do shit.
And now we have Anthony Richardson, who low-key looks like a freak of nature at quarterback. Our quarterback is 6'4", 244 and runs a 4.4 40. Don't let all those fours distract you from the fact he's good.
But we won games of play. Okay, sure. But Cubs fans waited 100 years.
Yeah, MSI could, I guess you could say MSI is like being the Browns for 20 years, but it's
hey,
like,
you know what? If I'm along for the ride and I get to see the shit show that is like,
yeah,
what is it?
you're,
Johnny Manziel and like that whole era. Like, you know what? We might be losing, but we're having fun.
and it's just, it is what it is. Sometimes you get lucky, sometimes you don't. Like, I've been a Pacer fan my whole life, and I mean, you can't imagine being a Pacer fan. Pacer fan is like being an EU fan if you never won MSI. You know what I mean? Like, I just had to sit here and watch the Heatles barely beat us every time.
Yep.
But
Alright.
don't worry. I gotta go play an ARM.
And I gotta let the dogs out, and Emily's gonna be back shortly. So, thank you all for tuning in. We'll catch you on the next episode next week whenever MSI is wrapped up. Who do you think wins the tournament, by the way, really quick?
JDG.
I'm still with JDG as well. I hope T1 makes it to the finals and collapses again because it's just going to bring a smile to my face.
I think JG will actually lose the first best of 5 against him. And they'll win the second.
Okay, yeah, and then win the second. Gotcha. All right, well, on that note, we will catch you all on the next episode. I'll probably be live streaming on Saturday at some point. Maybe live viewing MSI. We'll see. I don't know. That's pretty much it. Catch us on Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, and the rest. Adios. See you later.